Welcome to MSP Clarksville Off-Season Edition. My name is Brady McAtamney, as always, your host, the editor of Main Street Clarksville. Fun show coming up for you guys today, as we're going to be talking some football with some local coach, and we're going to be getting into a little bit of stuff after that. But anyway, we're going to get straight into some dead period football style with head coach Ronaldo Pena of the Northwest Vikings. The Vikings coming off a 3-7 football season, moving up to 6A this year as part of the big Clarksville Super Region. Ray, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on. Good morning.
Good morning to you too, and thank you for joining. So you guys started last season 2-2 with wins over Whites Creek and Stewart's County. Close game with Portland, not as close game, or rather close game with West Creek, not as close game with Portland, before taking out some really good teams, Henry County, Overton, Nashville Christian, really close game with Kenwood, and of course Springfield, a really tough team. What do you feel like you guys learned last season in some of those games against some really good football teams?
It really defined us as far as what we needed to improve on to get better as a whole program. Offensively, I mean, we just had to bring more execution out. I mean, we had some very, very talented, great young men on our team, and they worked their butts off, and I'm super proud of those guys moving on, becoming college football players and successful in their own rights. But I think it all boils down to the toughness factor. Just bringing toughness to the table, which that starts with me, and having that background for our program, it kind of was the one thing that we put on our list as far as going into this season, is that we just got to be a tougher team, and we just have a better mindset in situations. And I'm just happy that we're improving on that, and that's been at the forefront of our off season, buddy.
Yeah, so you say that's been at the forefront of the offseason. How is that something that you guys, are trying to maybe enforce or bring out of the guys?
Just everyday things, just habits. We starting practice with, drills and stuff that gets the guys excited, that, has a little bit of contact. Even though we don't have any pads on, we still find ways to, start off our practices with some competition. A little bit more attitude, the guys, we're extremely close as far as this year as well. So, the guys chirp back and forth on offense versus defense, and we just try to create a good environment of being competitors this year, along with that brotherhood that we want to instill in our program, man.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a fun environment to be a part of. Now, last season was your second as head coach at Northwest. What's the difference between, your first year as a coach, you're kind of learning things, picking up new things, and the second year as, you're still relatively new to the position, but, you got a little bit of air under your wings at that point?
The first season, that's a pretty interesting question, too. The first season, I think it was a lot more bright-eyed than I thought. I went in and looked at, the staff we had and the players we had, and I got, super excited about how our season was looking. But, there's so many factors in a football season, and I think that I've learned going into the second season that preparation is one of the most important things as coaches, is that we just got to prepare better and make sure that these guys don't have a reason to come up with different excuses, and holding those guys accountable to a higher standard. We look at our personnel and we look at the guys that we had returning. It was totally different, but you got to put in so much in that off season. And I think with the Viking program, that first year was definitely dedicated towards, hey, we got to change the culture around here, because what we have around here wasn't to my standards, to my personality. The second season, it was more so of growing from off of that and adopting, a better personality and a better, kind of ideal identity to our program. And seeing young folks just grow in that program was huge. And now going into this season with guys that, that I've known since they were freshmen, guys that, are seniors here, but I've had them 3 years or, things like that. They understand what I expect, and they have expectations of their own now. I think I always tell people that this group is an intelligent group, a very, very smart group of guys that I'm coaching this year. Not to knock any other ones of my teams, but that first and second year is all about just preparation and having the right people around you to grow your program and to grow your culture. Now that I think that we're almost to that point of our culture being what it needs to be at Northwest with the group of talented guys going into this season, it's okay. We know what to expect. We just have to go out there and execute it and do it to a higher standard than we've done ever probably in years at Northwest. And we're just trying our best to get there.
Yeah. Is it comforting knowing that you guys are, maybe a little bit more prepared, a little bit more, on your toes as to what could happen, what you guys expect to see?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, the thing about football is it evolves. It does evolve as years go through, and you have to become a better coach. You got to create a better environment. And that's the beauty of it. And that's the things that I love about, our program is, okay, we did this last year. We can't do that this year. We have to be better this year. And it starts, like I said, it starts with the young kids holding themselves and each other accountable. And me trying to do my best to lead these guys, you see a lot of things that worked. And then I'm really a junkie about all of this. I go back and I look at the numbers. I go back and look at the films. I go back and look at our practice films and see the things that we can adopt and we can, use this year against a good schedule with a bunch of really good teams that will play, coming this year. So I think that's very important. And you got to write it all down, by the way, too. You can't just go put it in there. You have to write it down in order to make sure that your program is improving. That's the most important part, is making sure that not only that you recognize it and see it, is that you put it on paper and you execute your plan.
Yeah, without a doubt. And like you said, you got some good teams coming up on the schedule this year. Of course, it's a brand new district, a brand new region with all Clarksville teams, and as well as Dixon County, which is new. It's going to be very interesting, in my opinion, as a fan and as a writer, to see how all of this shakes out. For you as a coach, are you looking forward to renewing a whole bunch of rivalries here and playing all the other teams in the city?
No question. I'm super excited. I was definitely on board as far as moving up to 6A with the rest of the coaches, and being able to play some of these guys around here. It's going to be amazing. Like walking into CHS in a tough environment, playing a great running team and a great, well-coached team like that. I mean, I'm getting chills sitting right here and thinking about it. Playing good friends like, my guy, Coach Gallowitz, and seeing that West Creek team and the speed they possess and, things like that. And, with, if you think about it, Kenwood's got the only returning quarterback in the area. Everybody else is looking for a new quarterback pretty much outside of Rossview as well. But you got, you got these guys we're all trying to find quarterbacks and make sure that our systems are in place and that we have good defensive execution as well. You go into some of these places, playing a Kirkwood, that's a really good coaching staff over there, and that's a new team and they're young, but you can tell from afar the environment that, they're trying to create over there. So, seeing things like that, playing against coaching against Coach Hood and, things, those great, people in schools, creating that environment in this area is going to not only fill seats, but it's going to bring a lot of excitement in some rivalry games that we're going to be able to see this season. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I agree. There's going to be a lot of super exciting stuff going on. Really a full schedule of Clarksville area teams. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games against Clarksville area teams. I mean, that's a lot of fun. That's almost half your schedule there. So, but of course, looking at the non-region schedule, you got some fun games there as well. Starting it off with a home game against Fort Campbell. I know you being a former soldier yourself. Is that something that you wanted to look to get on your schedule?
Absolutely. I mean, Coach Mitch is another good friend, and we've talked on multiple occasions, and we've been trying to get this down pat even before he took the head coaching position. I think that the Fort Campbell, yes, it does mean a lot to me as a former NCO and a former soldier. But the biggest thing is the kids, man. The kids, they all know each other. And, still staying in that whole, let's keep it local, let's play some familiar foes that these guys know. Like, that was a no-brainer. Even the Jamboree, going there and playing at Fort Campbell, playing the Jamboree is going to be fun as well, too. But definitely them coming, week one and creating a great environment for our guys, first game out the gate. It's a really, really good test to see what we can do and what we can execute, on all three phases of ball. So I know he's going to bring in some well-coached guys. They run the football really well. They have some good stuff that'll spread you out and try to, he finds those good pockets to make good throws with, his quarterbacks. And, that challenge is going to be a really, really good challenge for us as far as the tone of our whole season. If we can execute at a high level against those guys, we can use that as motivation, as fuel to go into those weeks right after that. But it definitely starts with week one, man. It definitely does.
Yeah, without a doubt. And the other two non-region games against some really good teams as well, with Wilson Central and Franklin Road Academy. I'm guessing, not to put words in your mouth, but, a lot of coaches will say they want to schedule those tough games in the non-region to prepare you for the region. Is that kind of the mindset that you had going into that? And how'd you land on those two teams?
Yes, it actually is very true, man. We definitely have to, make sure that we have some good challenges down the road. With Wilson Central, it was just a phone call, man. And, normally, certain teams and certain guys that call up, with our, everything with the scheduling, I usually look at it and assess and try to make the best decision for our program on who we need to challenge, but who we need to play against. But one thing that's important that's up there is we just don't want to just run around and play teams, that aren't going to challenge us. Like, I'm not going to turn down a challenge at all, first off, but I definitely think that, that fit our calendar and our schedule to put a Wilson Central on the road in an environment like that. And we're probably going to be their first home game. I'm not sure, but, going into that hostile environment is one. And, Franklin Road Academy is just impressive. They're a no huddle team. They're going to move fast. And, that really is to put that smack dab in the middle of our schedule is something that I've done the past few years with the Nashville Christian and, guys like Overton like that, where we don't we don't have a lull like that. We try to, have that tough team, and for them to come in and play us at home. I mean, Geisinger is a good friend. He's an excellent coach down there. And, when he was at Pope, we've always played 7-on-7s against each other. And now I get to scrimmage Pope this year in the off season. And then, have Franklin Road come in and play a team like that to see how well we can match up against a tough opponent, not only at home, but next season on the road. It's exciting to see. And trust me, I'm very excited to see how we play against those guys and how well we execute, against Franklin Road Academy.
Absolutely. And yeah, to confirm, you will be Wilson Central's home opener. So, a place that's already going to have a good atmosphere, that'll make it even better.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
now let's talk about some of the guys that you're going to be rolling into those games with. Of course, losing your quarterback from last season, Raymond Rodarte, great athlete and great kid. Some of his top wide receiver threats, his top weapons. Who are some of the guys for people to be looking out for Northwest this year?
Well, the one thing we did all as a coaching staff and agree is that we wanted to work a lot, man. We wanted to just, hunker down, stay right there on Lafayette at Northwest and practice and work hard and work against each other. And with that, there's been some guys that have definitely came and started shining. I think it starts with our leader of our team, which is Caleb Vila. He's a very, very intelligent linebacker. He knows how to move from sideline to sideline. And the one thing that a lot of people would notice about him is that he's excellent in coverage too. Like, he's not just going to meet you in between the tackles and bring that toughness. He can get out in coverage and make big plays in coverage. So it definitely starts with his hard work. And, you got Bryce Brooks, who's our stud defensive end, and he'll play tight end this year. He's, 6'4", he's 220, 225. He's just a big physical presence, and the kid has an excellent motor. And those guys will definitely be two of the big guys that will contribute. But I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about our offensive line. Our offensive line is returning all of these guys except for one, which was Lorenzo Johnson, who graduated and is going to be playing college ball. But, it's not really a fall off on our offensive line. We'll have a very, very good offensive line. Defensively, we're going to be, our depth at the defensive line with Keaton Warford in the middle. And, of course, like I mentioned, Bryce, we got about 5 or 6 guys that we can put down there, that can play on Friday nights on our defensive line. And that's going to be great for us as well. And then on the back end, it's Deontay Crawford playing safety, who's a big physical safety and just going to play that, over the top, and it's going to be well. But offensively, it definitely, like you said, we're looking for quarterbacks. Raymond, who, it's funny, I talked with him this morning. He texted me this morning, so I always love hearing from him. And with him departing, it's Braden Ellis, and Braden Ellis is just super accurate. He's a really good decision maker, and he just has moxie, man. I just love how he carries himself. He just has a lot of moxie to his game, and how he roams about practice, and he just knows that he's going to try his hardest to be, a very, very good quarterback for us. And then our run game is the biggest question. We have 3 running backs that, that could definitely, get about 10 to 15 carries for us. But we got to effectively run the football, and that's the most important. And I'll finish with our surprise is our receiving core. We lose Bobby, we lose Demayes, and we're able to turn around and reload that with the Makai Rashid, who's 6'4", just a young junior that he played really well against Kenwood last year. And then you turn around and Jayshawn Warford, who's just, you put him in the slot, his speed, his football IQ, his ability to catch, his unspeakable athleticism helps a lot, with our guys. And then we put Deontay on that side as well, too. So our receivers are going to be a bright surprise for us, if we can execute our run game well, and get these guys moving down the field. It's going to be interesting to see on offense this year.
Plenty to be excited about for the Northwest Vikings, as it sounds. Now, before I let you go, of course, you being a former soldier yourself, we just had the 4th of July, big American holiday. I want to know if your favorite 4th of July meal, your favorite 4th of July, food, your favorite game, and whether you're pro or against setting off your own fireworks.
Okay, you said favorite meal on 4th of July. You said what else?
So a favorite meal, like what you might be putting on your plate, first thing you're going for. Your favorite game, if you got like a favorite backyard game or something to watch, or if you're setting off your own fireworks, or you're gonna, let someone else do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'm an old soul, and I love it, man. So my favorite meal has got to, it's always been growing up. My mom and my family, we all meeting, and like I said, I'm from South Carolina. So if it isn't a soul food with some mac and cheese and some, some ribs or something like that that's on the grill with some collard greens and some cornbread and things like that. It's got to be a seafood boil with some crab legs and some shrimp and potatoes, corn, and sauces. Like that's how it's one or the other when I'm at home in South Carolina on 4th of July. Game wise, like I said, I'm an old soul, man. It's spades or it's dominoes. Either like, and I'm the coach that'll say if you step into my table, you better come correct because you're going to get your feelings hurt because we're going to talk trash until you get up and walk off that table. So card games like that, that's how it's always been, growing up. And no question, you got to light your own. I love buying, fireworks and, my kids enjoy it and we'll step outside and we'll watch others, of course. But, you got to have your own fireworks and have some fun with it. Probably not to the degree of some of these videos I've been seeing the past few days from 4th of July, but we definitely love doing that over here, man.
Love it. Sounds like you guys know how to have a good time, know how to host a holiday party. Love to hear that. Anyway, Coach, thank you so much for joining me today. Really, really good to catch up with you, talk some ball, and look forward to seeing you guys get going here in about a month and a half.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on, and let's enjoy it with the Vikings this year, man. Can't wait.
You betcha, man. Thank you. All right, we're gonna go to a break here. When we come back, talk a little bit of Detroit Tigers baseball. Of course, I got to do it right now, so look forward to that.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Tired of hanging lights every year? We get it. That's why Southern Nights is here to help. We install programmable lighting on your home or business so you can enjoy beautiful, customizable lighting all year round. No more ladders, tangled lights, or cold nights outside. We do the work, you do the celebrating. Call Southern Nights today and take the hassle out of holiday lighting forever. For a free quote, give us a call at 931-241-3074 or visit our Facebook page at Southern Nights.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
It was just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try. There aren't any cops around.
I didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay? Cover your hands, sir.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor.
I thought I could hold my liquor.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Welcome back to MSP Clarksville. I'm Brady McTamney, sports editor at Main Street Clarksville. Now, I said we got to talk about the Detroit Tigers. Of course, everybody knows me as the Detroit sports guy in Clarksville. The Tigers are a little sad right now. They were shut out by the Oakland A's, losing a game in 10 innings where the team allowed just 2 hits. Tarek Skubal came back, dominated for 4 innings, 6 strikeouts. And then Reese Olson came back after taking a line drive off the leg in his last start and also dominated with 5 shutout innings, allowing just 1 hit. And the Tigers ended up losing that game in 10 innings, allowing just 2 hits in the game to the Oakland Athletics. So what do they do coming back out of that? You figure, they got to be upset about that. No, they lose 12-3 last night. I had the misfortune of going to that game, my first game at Comerica Park in about a year. They were down 12-0 at one point, and it was just not good. The Tigers are not looking very good right now. The offense is very stale at the moment. A big part of that has to be Riley Green being away from the team. He'll be back hopefully this weekend. Went 5 for 5 in Toledo on a rehab assignment last night. He is playing the outfield tonight, Thursday night. So that should hopefully mean he's back at least after the All-Star break. I would hope so. I'll be in Seattle to watch the Tigers play that weekend. And if there's no Riley Green there, not going to love that. But, there are reinforcements in the farm. And I would love for them to be in Detroit. I would love to see them actually on the team. I'm glad that they're doing great in Toledo. Would love to see them doing that in Detroit. Of course, Colt Keith, who is now a top 50 prospect, risen all the way from being unranked to top 50. It's very, very exciting, but need to see him actually on the team. He's hitting like a 400 or something in Toledo at the moment. Already has multiple 3-hit games since being called up about a week and a half ago after just absolutely dominating in Double-A. I mean, he was the best player in that league without a doubt. Also, Parker Meadows, could see him called up. Maybe his presence being called up makes things a little easier for Austin Meadows to potentially come back. What a catastrophic trade that has been, trading Isaac Paredes, who has been great for Tampa Bay, for Austin Meadows, who has yet to hit a home run for the Tigers, has missed more time than not. And, of course, Justin Henry Malloy, who the team acquired from the Atlanta Braves, for Joe Jimenez, who has been okay for the Braves. I'm sure Chris and Mo, who I believe are listening right now live from the studio, can tell me more about how Joey Jimenez has been. Maybe we'll hear about that later. But there are guys that Tigers really should be calling up because there are also guys that they can be designating for assignment, guys like Jonathan Scope, guys like Tyler Nevin, Jake Marisnik, Eric Haas. I did an article about him last week, although they don't really have a backup catcher at this point. So they do need him just kind of as a warm body to relieve Jake Rogers for when he's played a couple of games in a row. He actually is playing today against Oakland as they try to avoid a sweep against the A's, something I wish I didn't have to say. But the Tigers, it's not great right now. The pitching is getting back together as Tarek Skubal, of course, who I just mentioned, and Eduardo Rodriguez just returned. Alex Faedo will return tomorrow against the Toronto Blue Jays, against another American League East team. So they, of course, have a horrible record against that division this year, as I'm sure the entire AL Central does. Kind of an unserious division this year. But, it's not looking good right now. So if you're a Tigers fan, you're listening to this, I want you to let me know what you think. Let me know what you would like to see them do. That's going to be it for me today, or else I could rant the entire day about the Tigers, of course. But let me know what you think. Thank you again to Coach Ray Pena from Northwest for joining me today. Great talk with him, and looking forward to seeing them play this year. This has been MSP Clarksville. Thanks for joining.